Hello everybody and welcome back to another farming simulator how-to video. Today we're going to take a look at what it takes to be a grape farmer. What I have in front of me is all of the equipment that you're going to need to be a grape farmer. And the way I got that is through the shop. You go to the packs area, grapes, and then we have listed all of the items we're going to need to be a grape farmer. The Landini Rex 4 GT, a nice narrow tractor. The Broad 90L grape harvester. We have the Provis MP 122 Osea. This is a pruner that's going to trim the vines back at the end of the season. We have the Mercury 4000L sprayer. We have the MRWK 6000 grape trailer, specialty purpose trailer just for holding grapes. We have the TMC Concealia TPN 140 mulcher, and then the Disc-O Vigene 5 subsoiler. That is what we're going to need in order to be a grape farmer. Now, if you've got a preference of a brand, then you may also wish to make use of the New Holland methane tractor. That will work perfectly between the grapevines, or the Fendt 205 Vario. That has also been specially designed for orchard work. Now we have our machines in order. Let's take a look at what it's going to take to plant our grapes. And we plant our grapes via the in-game build mode. So Shift P to bring up the build mode. We're going to go to production and then orchards and then grapevine. At this point, we're going to draw our grapevines on the field. Now we can put our grapevines anywhere. We don't have to place them on a field. We can place them on any land that we own. And one of the big tricks with placing grapes is that we want to be careful not to try to place them too far apart, but also not to place them too close together. And what I feel is one of the biggest issues is trying to place these things in a straight line. It'd be pretty difficult to get them in a straight line. I would like to have some sort of angle indication here on the HUD to basically tell us if we are one, too far or too close to the existing grapevines, and two, if we are basically in a straight row or not. You can see that one was a little bit crooked. And then if we're too close to the grapes, then it wants to basically attach to the node of the vine right next to it. You see each of these long runs is costing me about $14,500. So there you go. We've got our grapevines in place, and they are listed as growing. We take a look here at the info panel. You see here they are listed as growing. At this point, we can pretty much rest for the day. There's nothing else to do. We need to wait for the grass to grow between the vines before we're going to come in here with a mulcher, because the order of operations is going to be to mulch the grass between the rows. Then we're going to run our subsoiler between the rows. Then we're going to fertilize between the rows, and we can fertilize twice during the growth stage. And then at that point, we're just waiting for the grapes to be ready to harvest. So I'll be back tomorrow. So day 2 of our grape farming adventure, we now have grapevines starting to grow. We have grass. So now we need to come in here with the mulcher and get started on our field work. If you'd seen the olive video, then you pretty much know what's coming. We've got to run through and mulch, and then we're going to run through with our subsoiler and subsoil between the rows. And then finally, we are going to fertilize between the rows. If you haven't seen that video yet, well, then that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and repeat the process here. So I'm going to go ahead and mulch on either side of the grapevines. As you can see, it basically kind of cuts the grass a little bit short, changes the ground texture a little bit. Try to get off the grapevines. There we go. Now, when we did the olive video, we learned that you cannot hire a helper for this mulching process. It just doesn't seem to work. So, in fact, let's go ahead and try to do that now. You're going to see it just says, no field found. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the mulching, and I'll be back with you. Now, I seem to be having some problems with the hired help. Subsoiling between the grapevines. Didn't seem to have any issue with that when we were doing our olives on this particular field. But at any rate, you can see the difference in the ground texture between the uncultivated or unsubsoiled and the subsoiled land. We're just going to continue to work the process. So again, it is mulch, then subsoil, and then after that, we're going to put our first application of fertilizer on the vines. Step 3 in the overall process is going to be to fertilize our grapevines. In order to do that, we've got the Mercury 4000L. This thing atomizes the liquid fertilizer, sprays it out in this really cool circular arch pattern, and as a result of its atomization, it really doesn't go through fertilizer very much. So a full trailer load of fertilizer is really going to go a very long way in getting your grapes fertilized. Once again, I'll see you tomorrow, because that's all the field work we're going to get done today. Day 3, not a lot has changed. You can see we are 50% fertilized at this point, but I haven't seen a growth stage. So we're going to go on to tomorrow. The morning of day 4, it does indeed look like our grapevines have indeed grown a little bit. So I think I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and apply the second layer of fertilization. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I believe we're on day 5 now at this point, and we do have a bit more growth. Now, I'm guessing and hoping that tomorrow we'll be ready to harvest. And as I was hoping, the grapes are indeed ready to harvest. And this machine is pretty cool how it harvests. You run it down the middle, and then you can see it shakes the vines. Basically shakes the grapes off, catches them, and then brings them up and gently deposits them into the storage hoppers. So pretty cool how this thing works. I've got 2 done, 1 halfway done, and then I got another one to go. I think we're going to just fill this harvester up with our 4 runs of grapevines. And then we're going to take a look at what we're going to get if we sell the grapes, or if we further process them into grape juice and raisins. Just had enough capacity in the harvester, so what we need to do is back it up. And we'll do an I to dump into our trailer. See the fill levels dropping inside the hoppers there. All right. So we have 3,048 liters of grapes. If we take a look here at our prices screen, we'll see how the prices are broken down. Best price for grapes is on the train sell point, 21.60. We'd have to pay to use the train, so that really negates that whole advantage in that price point. Then we have grape juice, 3,500 per 1,000 liters, and raisins, 4,200 per 1,000 liters. So let's go ahead and take these up to the grape processing facility, and we'll see how many grapes and raisins we get out of this thing. Now, I've already acquired the grape processing facility, so let's go ahead and dump them on in here. And we'll come over here to our info screen. So it's going to take 90 grapes are going to make 90 raisins. And we got 3 cycles per hour, $2 per cycle. Or $2 per hour. And then for grapes, we've got 90 grapes make 72 units of grape juice. So we'll come back tomorrow and see where we are with respect to our production here. And then we've got one more thing we need to do over at the farm to make our grapes ready for the next harvest. So another day, another dollar. Here we are down at the farm, and you can see our grapevines are pretty much dying off at this point. They're dying back. So what we need to do now is trim our grapevines. And for that, we're going to use this trimmer attached to the front of our Landini. So we're going to have to unfold it, X. And with her unfolded, we're going to kind of thread it into the vines. We're going to turn it on. And you can see what it does is it is going to be basically cutting the grapevines back to their original state that they were when we placed them at the start of our farming cycle. And then they will be ready for the next farming cycle. So grapevines are kind of a place once, harvest many, assuming that you come through here and do this process at the very end to get them all ready to go for the next growth stage. And then up here at the grape processing facility, we have 2 full pallets of grape juice and 1 full pallet of raisins. Let's go ahead and put those on the trailer. Then we also have some remainder product that's sitting in the factory, and it appears to be sitting there until we deposit more grapes, or we can just tell the factory to auto sell those. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. So to tell it to auto sell those, we're going to escape, go down to our production menu, and go to raisins, and we're going to change the output mode from storing to selling. And we'll do the same with respect to the grape juice. And then at the top of the hour, it should go ahead and sell the remainder of the product in the factory. So we go ahead and get these loaded up, and I'll drive over to the sell point, and we'll see what we get as far as our total profits for our grape harvest. So you can see it's now the top of the hour. We have automatically sold the remainder of the product. We've made $3,149 off of those fractional pallets. Let's see what we make off of these. And there we go, another $8,896. So grapes can be pretty profitable. Of course, there is a fairly big investment to start the process. It does take a little bit of time to run through all of the various iterations and steps. But given the number of days in the growth process, I don't think it's too terribly bad to think about having to mulch the grapes once, subsoil the grapes once during the entire growing process, spray them twice, and then you're pretty much done, waiting on them to come to ready to harvest. Then once they're ready to harvest, you harvest them, give it another day, and then they're going to be in a state where you need to prune them, and then I suspect they'll start the whole growing process over at that point. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope it showed you how you can be a grape farmer here on Farming Simulator 22. If you liked the video, please go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to have a whole lot more Farming Simulator 22 content coming to the channel soon. And until next time, happy farming.